So if you've been checking out all the different ways that you can start your seeds for your outdoor gardening, wondering whether you should be doing the winter sowing method, using the seedling snail method, or just sticking with that traditional seed starting in trays. So in this video, I'm going to go through why I love winter sowing, I love using the seedling snails, and what you should be planting using each of these methods. So I'm not totally loyal to any specific method. Like I said, I love to use the winter sowing method for various reasons. The seedling snail method is something that I just started doing last year and I love it. It is a great way to save space, get a lot of things planted in a small space, especially flowers. That is something that I love to grow a lot of. I have a lot of containers. I like to put flowers in my vegetable garden as companion plants and to attract those pollinators. So you probably will have noticed that the prices of seedlings at greenhouses these days has really skyrocketed. So anything that you can start yourself indoors or in the winter sowing method is going to save you a lot of money. Again, though, it can be a little bit overwhelming as to how many flowers you want to plant, the space that you need, the grow lights, all that kind of thing. So I'm going to go through the two methods here, talk about which seeds work best in the winter sowing, which ones are best to start indoors. And I also want to just let you know I have a free download that you can click on the description box below to get that kind of gives you a little bit of an ebook that I created showing you what's best to do indoors, outdoors, depending on the seed and the plant and where you are growing. So the biggest factor for me as to whether I'm going to be starting seeds indoors or using the winter sowing method is time. It takes a lot of time to baby the seeds that you are growing indoors. They need fertilizing, they need lights, they need to be watered and babied, and that can take a lot of time. And for me personally, I'm running a YouTube channel, and I also have a very active community on the Skool app. So I'm filming, I'm recording things as I do it. So time is really a big factor that I consider. So using the winter sowing method to start a lot of my perennials, those cold hardy plants like the brassicas, this is the best method for those because you can put them into these jugs, and the stratification process that those perennial seeds need to go through happens naturally with the winter sowing method. And you are just planting these up, setting them out in the snow. They wait for spring and they know when it's time to germinate. So very low maintenance, great for those kinds of seeds and plants. Another thing about indoor sowing is they take up a lot of space. So if you have those large trays like this full of tiny little seedlings, you may only have one or two varieties that is taking up a space like this. That is why I love the seedling snail method, because right here I have 4 different things growing, taking up not even half of this tray right now. I can put another 5 or 6 of these seedling snails in here with different varieties of onions, flowers, vegetables, and they're taking up a lot less space. And they are time savers because I don't have to worry about potting these up at any point. These onions that I have started here are some Walla Wallas, and they will stay in the seedling snail right up until it's time to transplant them outdoors. So I don't have to worry about any up potting. And that's a great thing about the flowers. These are some petunias that I started. Obviously, they're going to need to be thinned out. These are seeds that I collected from last year's flowers, so I just sprinkled them on top. They are coming through really nicely, and I will thin them out, leave them right in this snail. They have that 6 inches of root space to grow down to. They are in this coil of the snail, so there's not a lot of intertwining of the roots. It keeps them separate. So again, the seedling snail is great for saving space. So there are certain plants that we want to plant indoors because they need that, babying. They're very delicate. They're not cold tolerant, such as your tomatoes, your peppers, different herbs. Some of those need a little bit more hands-on, and sometimes that winter sowing method doesn't work well for them. And again, the seedling snail method works good for that. I don't need tons of one variety of tomato, so I just build a smaller snail like this that I can put maybe 5 or 6 of, say, aroma tomato plant that I want to grow. Again, no worry about up potting. These will grow nice and strong down this 6 inches of space. I can bottom water. The roots will come out the bottom. You don't have to worry about them getting root bound or, you know, overgrown, because there's lots of air and lots of space for them to grow in. And then I discovered on YouTube this great method called the snug, where you can combine these two processes here by creating a seedling snail, putting it into a winter sowing milk jug, planting your flowers, your brassicas, whatever vegetables, herbs that you want to do in this method. And when it comes time to transplant and take these out, that's one thing that's kind of tricky about the winter sowing method, because the plants get a little bit root bound in there and the roots are all kind of intertwined. So again, using that coil method, you are planting your plants through the coil here. They aren't competing for space. You're using not too much soil. You don't have to worry about transplanting. These will harden off naturally outside. Come spring, when they start growing, you can open up your jug, expose them to the elements, and they are super hardy. And when it comes time to transplant, you got a really good seedling. And I find that the seedling snail method, the winter sowing method, are beginner friendly. If you are watching this wondering, I don't know if I can do the seed starting thing, it takes a lot of time and effort, I don't know about fertilizing, I'm not sure about lighting. It's something that, you know, is not too hard to get into. You can start small. You could grow a bunch of these seedling snails under a set of LED lights like these. You don't need to invest in expensive grow lights. These are just LED shop lights you can purchase at a local Home Depot or Lowe's, Rona, something like that. Set them up on a shelf and you can get a whole variety of things started. So I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on how to create seedling snails. Keep an eye out for them. I'm also creating a workshop that is going to be available on my website. So again, check out my videos. Keep watching for those. So if you want to avoid the lights and babying of plants, again, I would just say winter sowing is the best to start for beginners. Even if you wait until end of March, early April, to that 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost date, there's a lot of those more less cool tolerant plants that can be started in here that you don't have to worry about. I plan on using this to do more flowers, those ones that can be started about 4 to 6 weeks. So probably mid-April, end of April, I will be doing a lot of my winter sowing of flowers in here, maybe some of the herbs like basil. So really, I can't say enough about these two methods. They are beginner friendly, they are easy to maintain, they save space, they save time, and they save money. One thing I do have to say about starting seeds indoors, it's something that I actually really enjoy doing. Watching them germinate and sprout and kind of looking after them. They're my little babies that I can tend to every day. Once I'm done growing them under grow lights and we get into those longer sunny days, I can move them into a sunny window in my garage or my greenhouse, and I just love looking after them. So for that reason, I enjoy starting seeds indoors, and I usually end up with more than I need so that I can share with friends and family, but I'm also trying to share all the process from seed to out to the garden for my viewers and for my community, so that I can teach more people how to grow and how to start things from seeds, so that you don't have to invest in buying them from the greenhouse. I don't want people to feel intimidated by seed starting. It is something you can do a little of or a lot of, you know, just depending on how much you want to get growing. So again, I hope you will check out those free downloads that I have down in the description box below. I've mentioned that I have a community called Gardeners Growing Together that's located on the Skool platform. I would love to have you join it and be part of a community where we talk about everything gardening. We share our experiences, we share our questions, and we share our wins and losses. So again, the link to that is in the description box below. Keep watching on the channel for more updates on winter sowing and seedling snail planting. I'm in growing zone 3, so I am trying to hold off on starting too soon. And again, if you're watching this video thinking you need to get started, it's better to start later than too soon. Check when your last frost date is. Figure out by the seeds that you want to plant how far before that last frost date you should get them started. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, or we'll see you inside the gardening community. Thanks for watching.